Welcome to the Swale Rainbow Homes Shareholder Subcommittee meeting. Meeting is being recorded. When joining the meeting online, you'll all have seen this anyway. Item 1, emergency evacuation procedure. We're not expecting anything tonight. But if the bell goes, follow me. Nobody needs any help. Item 2, apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. Apologies have been received from Councillor Kieran Goulding, and this evening Councillor Anne Kavanagh is substituting. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, members, I have said to Councillor Goulding, as he's a member of this subcommittee, that to be kept in, I do want him to be kept in the loop, because you don't know if this might be we might be meeting regularly, who knows? So if he does wish to make any comment, please feel free, Councillor Goulding. Item 3, minutes of the meeting held on 14th of February. Is it your wish that I sign these as a correct record? Okay. Item 4, declaration of interest. Anyone have any? Did we have apologies from Councillor MacDonald?
No.
Oh. Declarations of interest, anyone? No. Okay. Item 5 then, Swale Rainbow Homes shareholder update. Over to you, Charlotte Hudson, Head of Housing and Communities.
Thank you, Chair. So, as it's all sort of covered in my report, but I just thought I'd highlight some key elements. As members of the committee will be aware, I brought quite a detailed report to the committee on the 14th of February, and at that committee it was agreed that we would currently pause the scheme due to viability issues, but there was quite a strong consensus from the committee that we should still continue to review grant funding opportunities that would enable the scheme to become viable. Since that meeting in February, the Swale Rainbow Homes Board has continued to secure planning permission, and that now has consent as of in May this year. Following consent of planning, that opened us up an opportunity to have a more detailed conversation with Homes England around its affordable homes programme in much more detail than we had an opportunity to before, because the scheme design had been effectively frozen through planning consent. At that stage, we are working on sort of 3 key parameters really around the interest rates that are currently applicable at the time, the local housing allowance rates, which obviously reflect affordable and social rent that we could charge and is the key income stream of the scheme, and the actual build costs that we had commissioned through our quantity surveyor and had provided those. We shared our modelling with Homes England and had a really good detailed conversations in conjunction with our consultants, Counties and Capital Consulting. And even though Homes England had confirmed that our gap was still currently too large, they were encouraging us to, 1, review our profile and look at more social rented homes. And even though that gives us a lower income stream, it does enable us to attract more grant for the units going forward. And that is a priority for Homes England around social homes above any other affordable rent product. The key unknown variable was the actual build costs. It's quite common for when quantity surveyors detail out the actual build cost, they will obviously put a level of tolerance in there. We all know construction projects have a history of going over budget, so there is an element of caution within the QS figures. So Homes England also felt they were quite high in compared to other schemes that they saw. So really requested us to sort of try and firm those figures up through a procurement and tender process, so we actually could have a much more detailed conversation and understand what the true gap was, and from their experience felt that we could narrow that gap quite considerably. Clearly, as the direction from this committee previously was to pause the scheme, it didn't feel appropriate that for the board to continue on with a procurement exercise and the work that is required to do that, which is a sort of more detailed assessments, architectural assessments and surveys that would need to be undertaken that are detailed in the report. So the works are sort of in the region of about £65,000. So I'm seeking consent from the shareholder panel this evening for us to use those funds. The funding has been allocated previously to the Swale Rainbow Homes Board, but due to the previous decision to pause the scheme, I am seeking consent to carry out the construction tender to enable us to make that more detailed Homes England grant funding application to see if that's absolutely feasible. Happy to take any questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Charlotte. We have got a recommendation, but do you want to ask any questions first or not? You just want spades in the ground, don't you? Shovels in the ground. Okay, then I'll propose that we approve use of funds to progress the construction tender. Seconded, Hannah. No discussion? Okay. Go on then.
Yeah, I think it has to be done to be able to find out whether the project is long-term feasible anyway, and we've come such a long way in terms of getting planning agreement and that kind of thing through that it would be nonsense to not go ahead, I think.
Okay then, all those in favour of the recommendation? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, well, then I declare the meeting closed. I've got 7:07 and 15 seconds. Thank you very much for your attendance. Really appreciate it. And, you know, hopefully we can now get some legs on this and get it going. Yeah.